Hi everyone, so today is another IT lesson and it's presentation PowerPoint part 2. So today I'll be teaching you all a bit more additional functions that you all can use when you are creating your presentation slides. So the first thing I want to do is how to insert text box. So if you all remember how to create a new slide, you can just click here, new slide. Okay, so I want a blank one lah, so I can select the slide and then click layout and then choose blank. Okay, so now I have a blank canvas to use. So the first thing I want to teach y'all is how to do text box. Okay, so usually when you open up PowerPoint, the page will be on home. So go to insert, which is next to home, and then click onto text box. So click onto the drop down arrow here, not the picture here, because you may not know which text box they give, because there's two types. Okay, so just click onto the arrow down, and then first is the horizontal text box. So how to add a text box? The moment you click onto one of the text box, right, it will basically let you draw out the text box. So click on the horizontal text box, and then you just drag it. Okay, and then you can type stuff inside. So the moment you type stuff inside, right, the text box will basically become smaller to fit just the text itself. Okay, so that's okay. You just continue typing, and then it will become bigger as you go. So how to add border to text box? You make sure you have to select the text box first. Okay, so once you select the text box, you can click shape outline here. Okay, and then you can pick the color. So if I want black, then I can click black. Okay, so the next one is the vertical text box. So what's the difference? So this is a vertical text box. So when I type stuff, it basically goes like different direction. So I recommend you all to just stick to the horizontal text box, because I don't see a reason to use the vertical text box lah. Okay, so yeah, once again, if you want to create a shape outline, make sure you select the text box and then click shape outline. And then if you want to add color to text box also, you click onto shape fill and then add the color. Okay, so this is for text box. So the next thing is to add shapes. So where to add shapes? Same thing, go to the insert ribbon, and then you click find the shapes, which is here. Click on it, and then you'll see a lot. So to see the bottom one, you just drag it down, and then you can drag it up to see the top, or you can use the rolling thing on your mouse to roll up. Okay, you can see. So let's say I want a triangle, so I'll click triangle, and then how to add it in, how long or how wide you want it to be, right? It's up to you. So you just have to drag it. Okay, so the moment you let go, the shape will be there already. You can still edit the shape by touching these circles here that will affect the shape and all that. Okay, so okay, maybe I want my triangle to be a bit smaller. So how to change the color? So when you click on, you must make sure, remember, every time you want to edit a shape or text box or whatever, make sure you have the thing selected. So click onto the shape, and then go to shape fill. Then you can change the color of the shape here. So how to change the outline? Same thing, make sure it's selected, and then click shape outline. And then just pick whatever outline you want. Okay, so this is for the shape. And yeah, so when you click the text box or you click the shapes, right, you'll realize that this format ribbon will appear, and they'll have all these things also. So y'all can go and play around with it and go and see how every one of them works lah. Okay, because I cannot be covering all these functions in the video. If not, the video will take forever. Okay, so this is for the shape and adding of colors. So the last thing I want to teach y'all is on the animations and the transitions. So you know, sometimes when you look at presentation, you'll see that when they click the slides, right, got some pattern on, like it will like fade in, or like got some transitions, or like sometimes when you're on the same slide, then they click again, how come got some object appear, some object disappear. So this is basically animations and transitions. So the first thing I'll go through is transitions. So to do transition is for slides. So that means, right, example, if slide 2 has a transition from slide 1 to slide 2, right, there'll be like some kind of like animation in the middle. So okay, so first thing, right, you must click onto the slide that you want the animation, the transition to have. So example, I want it on slide 2. So that means, right, if I select slide 2 and I make a transition, when I click from slide 1 into slide 2, there'll be an animation in the middle to like change to slide 2. So click onto slide 2 first, and then click on the animations ribbon here, and then you'll see a lot of animations. So there's a lot of fancy ones and the simple ones. So the simple ones are like push, fade, all these. So these are all transitions that you can play with. The more interesting ones are like origami, where they fold the whole thing like into an origami crane or like paper airplane. It's quite interesting lah. But usually for professional presentations, we will stick to just the first slide of options. Okay, but if you want to play around with yourself, you can go and see the other ones. So one slide usually only got one transition lah. Okay, so if you want to preview like see how it is like before you go into the slideshow, you can click on the preview here. It will show you what the animation looks like. Okay, so the next one is animation for objects. So like maybe I want this shape to appear in the middle of the slide, in the middle of my presentation. So instead of it appearing the moment I go to slide 2, I want it to appear only when I click on it. So what do? First thing is make sure once again to click onto the shape. So make sure the shape is selected, and then you click onto animations. So then you'll see the same selection. So once again, you can click on all these to see the other animations, but usually it's either the appear, fade, or the fly in. When I use only these few lah. So the moment you select an animation, right, you see a box here with the number. So the number means which one comes first. So let's say for example, I click okay, so I click this, right? So this means that when I click it once, the shape will fly in. This is how it looks like, fly in. Okay. So what if I want it to disappear, like in the middle of my presentation? So you'll realize that the top parts, right, are green color. The stars are all green color. This means that this is the animation for it to appear. If you go down, you'll realize that there's red color. It means that this is the animations for it to disappear. So what if I want it to disappear after it fly in? So maybe I want it to fly in, then after that I want it to fly out. So I click fly out. Okay, you see it flies out. So remember, so I just made this mistake, but remember that when you want to add an animation to the same shape, make sure you click on the add animation here. So you add additional ones from here. Okay, so like when you first add the first animation, you can click and pick it from here. But once you want to add a second or third or fourth animation, you must click the add animation. Okay, so then you click fly out. So now you see there's two numbers. So this means that the first animation is the fly in, and the second animation is the fly out. So you see if it flew in, right, then it flew out. Okay, so in the presentation itself, usually it will only happen, each animation will only happen after you click it. So when you click one time, it flies in, you click one time, it fly out. Okay, but because in the preview it shows you the whole path of the object, so it will do the both fly in and fly out automatically. Okay, so how to check which animation is first and which animation is second? So what you can do is to click on the number. So when you click on number 1, you'll see that number 1, the box now is red. It means if you selected it, and it will automatically show you which animation it is because it will be shaded in gray. So it means that the first animation to come out is fly in. So what's the second animation? You can click on it to check, and it is fly out. Okay, so this is how you add animations and you check for animations. So remember, if you don't click the add animation, they're just going to replace the animation that you have selected. So for example, if I click number 2, right, then I actually want to add another animation. So maybe like for some reason you want it to appear again. But if you don't press add animation and you automatically click from here, right, it will just replace the animation for the second one. So example, if I click fly in again, so how the object will look like is that it will fly in twice instead of like flying in, flying out, then flying in again. Okay, so remember to add the animation if you want to have more than one. Okay, so that's it for today. So if you are a bit confused on how this works, you can come and ask me again. Otherwise, remember to do the worksheet, and then let Chris or Rebecca take a picture for me to see. Okay, so that's it for today.